Dear students, let us start the discussion on today's newspaper, that is 10th August 2017. The first article, Reignite the Spirit of 1942 by Prime Minister. A special session of Lok Sabha was conducted commemorating the 75th anniversary of the Quit India movement. Gandhiji has called for do or die during the Quit India movement. Taking back that spirit, Prime Minister Modi has called for removing the poverty, illiteracy, corruption from Indian system altogether. And he also warned that after independence, there is a kind of entitlement that has fulfilled the people rather than a sense of duty or responsibility. Everywhere, the breakdown of rule of law signifies this. So, Indian citizens shall be warned about this or shall be given an opportunity to correct the same. That's what is been given by the Prime Minister Modi. And then, let's get into the next. ISRO to develop a full-fledged Earth observation satellite. If you can remember, previously the RISAT, radar imaging satellite, it has improved the Earth observation abilities of ISRO. Here, the RISAT is remarkably an improvement because it can see through the clouds and also in the night. It improved the surveillance abilities. Now, we are bringing in a new kind of observation, which is hyperspectrometer. So, in this, it can identify 60 different colors. So, observation of the objects on the Earth becomes much easier because of this. That is what is Earth observation, new Earth observation satellite is bringing us to. Now, let's come to the editorial page, when the paradigm shifts. So, this is about the changing nature of the Indian state. If anyone asks you what is the nature of Indian state, you talk about sovereign, secular, socialist, democratic republic. So this article argues that there is a paradigm shift how the state is being organized. The values and ideals of the state were influenced by the Nehruvian ideals, Nehruvian thoughts. So that is liberal pluralistic order and anti-colonial fervor has filled in the ideals of functioning of Indian state. Today, it is been moving towards Hindutva too. So, Hindutva too, it refers to the second phase of the BJP government, that is NDA government after Vajpayee. The Vajpayee government by and large worked within the Nehruvian socialist framework, but the present government, it wants to shift the social and political dimensions of Indian society far away from these ideals. So, this can be visible or this can be seen in the foreign policy. The Prime Minister Modi's visit to Israel is a classical example for this, and in the conflict resolution, and then Kashmir problem, and accommodation of different interests. Previously, reconciliation, accommodation of different interests, collective solutions, these are being more spoken about. Now, a single narrative is being dominated with regard to every aspect of life. So there is a danger of a single idea. Lack of alternative perspectives will almost shallow our thinking. So whenever a paradigm shift has to happen, it definitely has to change the existing circumstances if friction is bound or is expected in the society. And second is, a paradigm shift will be built on an ideation construct. A strong ideational construct will try to change the society by and large. But to tackle this, we need to have equally strong counter narrative. The problem with today's opposition civil society is that counter narrative is missing. That is what this article talks about. So the democracy is all about having a narrative and a counter narrative which come from the base of the ideas. Lack of this counter narrative is making the Indian democracy shallow. And working on the app-based model. Now today, there are many app-based platforms are being created. For urban transport, you have Ola and Uber and Ola, and similar food delivery apps. Among all these app-based companies say that they are just providing a platform and they do not enjoy employer-employee relationships with their workers. So it means a cab driver is getting the work but not the job. It means there is no formal employer to him. But however, Ola and Uber exercises every control with regard to the data, with regard to the speed, with regard to the orders, with regard to the income he earns. So in this context, work is being given without the job. So obviously the social security nets are also weak for them. And the bargaining power is also weak as they have got the commanding control over the market. So in this context, a case is pending in case is pending in High Court of Delhi, and this article argues for the regulation of these cab aggregating companies. Obviously, it can send a precedence in the country. There is a dilemma over here. In the free market society, state regulating these tech platforms will send a wrong signal to the investors. And then castles in the air. So air corridor is being made between Afghanistan and India because for the transport corridor there were many objections which are arising from Pakistan. So it was launched at the Heart of Asia Summit held in Amritsar in 2016. But though with a lot of fanfare it was launched, lack of sufficient flights, procedural delays, etc. These have made many of our huge tons of the fruits getting decayed in the Afghanistan airport. And now, if you see, most of the connectivity with Afghanistan, India is seeing from the lens of Pakistan. Better than this, India can look for greater connectivity with Central Asia, Europe, Russia, etc. So Chabahar port, we want to provide an alternate route to Afghanistan beyond Pakistan or bypassing Pakistan. And second, other infrastructure projects for like Tapi pipeline, etc. These are also being initiated, but they did not move forward. So in this context, India shall stop seeing its connectivity plans for bypassing the Pakistan and look for commercial element into it. That's what this article emphasizes. Unseemly contest. It is about Rajya Sabha elections. So the Rajya Sabha and upper house, the existing government did not have the sufficient majority, and there is a deadlock kind of situation which is coming up with regard to most of the bills. The voice of opposition is being heard from Rajya Sabha. So in this context, the government wants to raise its numbers by hook or crook, and the present thing which has happened in Gujarat is not in accordance with the tradition of democracy. But however, Election Commission upholding the election of Mr. Ahmed Patel clearly shows the independence of the institution. Now coming to the march from yesterday. It is about March for Science. Remember two things. A scientific temper in the society will also influence the social health of the society. Scientific temper will obviously influence the societal health. Now, witch hunting, casteism, this can all be fought with the scientific temper. That is the one point which I liked in this. And second is, the rational thinking, scientific temper can only be developed when the scientists and scientific community comes into open and articulates their views and opinions. That is what is the second point which I want to carry for exam over here. The goods exchange. As per agenda of alliance between PDP and BJP in Kashmir, cross-border or LOC trade is one thing which has been spoken about. So, Poonch and Pathankot trade lines are being closed after these terror attacks. And also, due to discovery of certain narcotics in the trucks coming from Pakistan, Uri and Muzaffarpur trade link is also been closed. Now these are recently opened. To avoid these hurdles from getting repeated, we need to have a permanent system in place. That is what this article talks about. It is better to create a trade representative or trade or bilateral investigative agency to investigate into these matters or complaints which are coming before. That is what this article talks about. And then armed forces up to any challenge, that is Jaitli. So it is in relation to the Doklam Plateau issue which is going on. The standoff is still continuing. And China has said the same, and India also reiterated its position as the same. And it is expected to continue for a while. And then at the end of the thing, I have given the notes. This notes is available to you at laix.in/civils prep. Thank you very much and all the best.